What will it take for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers to get back on track following 3 straight losses? They now sit at 3-3, kind of in the middle of the pack in the West, looking up where they want to be, with it being a Grey Cup host year here in Winnipeg. And they will wrap up this home and home series on Friday night, country night at Princess Auto Stadium on Friday. We're going to set you up for it. To turn things around, sometimes you got to make change, but one thing that never changes is this man, Chris Walby, joining us here on GameDay Winnipeg. Welcome around the bonfire, everybody. Welcome, Chris.
Hey, thank you.
And I'll just leave this as an open-ended question as we'll get into Zach Collaros and Chris Streveler, changes on the defense, the really strange Dylan Mitchell situation. But where are you on the Blue Bombers right now?
I think they're just trying to find themselves right now. They've had some adversity, injuries, trying to move people around, as we'll talk about later in the show. They've struggled at the quarterback position. But again, it's not all a quarterback as well. I know everybody's going, Zach, he's old. He's thrown, 6 interceptions the last 3 games, 3 return for touchdowns. But you have to remember, and I think O'Shea hit it right on the head, there is a disconnection with the chemistry of everything he's doing, whether it's an O-line breakdown, whether it's a receiver going the wrong spot. There's a number of things. It's not all him. Now, is he free from all fault? No. The one that he threw last week, sidearm, that Cam Judge intercepted, no, that's just a bad throw. But yeah, he's going to get a break, but now his neck he hasn't finished the last 2 games, as we both know. Is Streveler going to be the guy? Absolutely. Can he get it done? I think he can. I look back to what he did and in New York in that short period of time he was in preseason, and he said it was one of the best he's ever seen from a rookie. That was New York Jets head coach at the time. Listen, this is a very, Streveler is a very, very passionate guy. He wears his emotions right on his sleeve. I mean, he's a guy that says, I'll do whatever it takes to win this football game. He's not a quarterback that takes a slide. So I don't think we're as bad. I read the comments. My God, it's awful. We've lost 3 in a row, and everybody's jumping on off the bandwagon now.
Well, let me throw this at you, Chris, because there's some context, right? Last year, this team was 0-4, and people were saying the same thing. Right. The difference between 0-4 and 3 straight losses early in the season this year is how those losses happened. They were losing close games to sit at 0-4. And this year they're losing by piles of points. They're getting beat down.
Yeah. Think about the guys we lost, Wolotarski and Guitar Man.
Do you really want to get into all that? Like the who's not here anymore? This team is good enough. Yeah.
That's why
the talent is there. But they're playing like shit.
That is why you said 0-4 they came back, because they had the good talent. They knew they'd get better.
You don't think they have it this year?
I think they're still trying to make changes, as evident by the roster we just looked at. The fact is they're making changes as they're trying to find the equation that'll make them successful.
Lots of changes.
Do I think it's the end of the world? No. Do I think they'll still be good? I think so. But I think they're right in if I can use this word, they're in a process of discovery. Discovery who can play and what position they can play at. And we don't need guys guessing on the play anymore. We need people to just say, this is my job. I'm going to do my job. Everybody else do their job. We'll be good. It's a team. All you need is one breakdown, and we've seen way too many breakdowns, offensively and defensively. So it'll be interesting.
Let's look at some of these changes, because there are lots. And depth charts, as you see, they'll show changes from last week, but there's more changes than what we see right here as far as who's in and who's out. Let's start with who's out. Cody Case, I'm pretty sure broke his ankle. He's on the 6-game injured list now, but that was a really nasty situation late in the game. We'll get into who enters the lineup in place of him and the decisions into that all in a second. Zach Collaros, it's a neck injury officially. That can be a concussion. I'm speculating, but I'm inclined to believe that it is. Played last week and was pulled for health reasons at halftime. He is out. It'll be Chris Streveler starting. Marquise Bridges, who started every game so far this season for the Blue Bombers, including a couple last year too. He is out at field side corner. Matthew Peterson, the Canadian running back and reserve for Brady Oliveira, is out this week. They're going to enter Quentin Cooley. The American, rather. Micah Vanterpool on the 1-game injured list. He did not practice fully this week. We really only have 1 day of practice to look at that, and no eyes because they canceled practice on Tuesday. Wednesday was a scheduled closed practice, and then Canadian defensive lineman Colin Cornelison comes out as well. So Chase Artopius, the rookie reserve quarterback, steps in to be the third stringer behind, of course,
Terry Wilson
and Streveler. Jonathan Jones makes his Blue Bombers regular season debut. The American linebacker was a big free agent signing from the Toronto Argonauts. We mentioned Quentin Cooley. Here's Eric Lofton, who will start for Stanley Bryant at left tackle because Vanterpool is injured. And Gavin Cobb, the former University of Manitoba Bison, former Edmonton Elk, steps in. He's a receiver. He is a returner. It'll still be Trey Vavel handling the returns. But this is the big one right here. Joey Corcoran, who is a 5th-round draft pick in 2025, Chris, he starts for the injured Cody Case. No Dylan Mitchell, who has been moved to move to the practice roster. Something is amiss here when you sign a guy for well over $120,000 a year. You sign him to not a signing bonus, but this was clarified by Jeff Hamilton, the Winnipeg Free Press today. Not a signing bonus, but a $60,000 offseason bonus was in his pocket before he stepped on the field for training camp. And he is now on the practice roster. So why a 5th-round Canadian when they don't need a Canadian in that receiving core? Something's up.
There's something up terribly. I read somebody say that if he was good enough to be in there, if he did enough in practice, he'd get a shot, but he's not doing it. And I agree with you. Why are you paying this guy all this kind of money? You go from the 6th game to the 1 game to the practice. You know what the next one is? Apple and a roadmap, buddy. Bye-bye. I think that's what they're going to do. Obviously, if they're starting Joey Cochran ahead of a guy that was a pretty dang good football player, before, in Dylan Mitchell, there's something really that smells bad here. It's almost like a fish that walks up on shore. You don't want to touch it. I don't know what's going on. They're very sheltered in that locker room. They don't tell you anything. But if you read between the lines, you can say, okay, there's no reason for this guy not to play. He's got to be something. Is he still out? I don't think he's out of shape. Maybe he's got a bad attitude.
Well,
I don't know.
You have to take what head coach Mike O'Shea says with a grain of salt, but let's hear from the head coach who spoke to reporters today.
Mike, I wonder if you could explain to fans, you have Joey Corcoran in, a rookie, and Dylan Mitchell, who is a big signing, he's on the practice roster. Can you explain why he's not able to get on the field? I mean, I know he's a wideout, but...
Yeah, we see him best fitted for a position that Carrick Wheatfall's playing. And so do you move Carrick Wheatfall to a position that he's not suited for either, or do you put guys in positions where they're not possibly going to throw as well? And the reason Joey Corcoran's on is his desire and willingness to block and to get his hands dirty and to play special teams and to do all those things. And then Gavin Cobb draws on because he can play probably all the positions, partly because of experience and just his level of football IQ says that you can put him into any kind of slot no matter what happens out there. So that kind of versatility for a guy who comes on the roster is extremely important. So there's all sorts of things that go into it.
I just wonder, Dalton's been out for a while. I mean, how difficult would it be for Dylan to pick up and feel comfortable at slot back or someone move over? People are just wondering.
Yeah, I just think the nuance of waggling compared to starting from a dead stop seems like it should be, that should be easy and better, but it's not always, right? I mean, we were offside a few times last week, So I think it's a little more in-depth than just saying, he should be able to do this, right? The common, what's interesting is a completely separate note is you get a bunch of coaches in a room that coach different positions, and they always say, well, that guy can play special teams. But they don't coach special teams. They don't know what the special teams guy's looking for, right? So those type of ideas about, oh, he should be able to do this, he should be able to do that, it's not always the case, right? So we think he's best suited for that one spot that Carrick is best suited for too.
So you've made, quite a number of changes this week. Can you kind of give us the thought process of why?
Some were out of necessity, and some are game planning, what Toronto has on their roster, what we have on our roster, how do we think it fits, and how do you get matchups and stuff like that. But some's born out of necessity.
So I'll leave that there for now. I'll just put it simply. I don't buy it. I don't buy that this is he can't waggle, so we're not going to play him at slot back.
You know what? I'm all over that, DB. I agree 152%, 152.5. Because I'll tell you right now, I thought there was a couple things he said that threw me off. One, he said, I watched him. He used to play. He moved all over the field. They don't have him one spot. He said he knows what he's doing. And then he said something that really threw me off. We played Gavin Kopp because of his experience.
Mm-hmm.
What experience? He's first-year guy. Hasn't played.
No. He's experienced in the CFL. He played a number of years for Edmonton at receiver, at returner.
Okay,
but Dylan Mitchell played a number of years at receiver in Edmonton. And he played slot in Edmonton.
Yeah, and I don't know why you don't have a guy that had like 8 touchdowns last year, I believe. Had some big games, and he can't get on the field. And this is really, I know and that's a good point, Glenn. He is tap dancing a bit. He likes to protect himself. I saw after the last loss in Toronto, he's like, I got a positive attitude. We're going to be okay. I'm a very even keeled guy, and don't lose my crap or shit, whatever you want to call it. I'm one of those guys that believes that everything will eventually work out. Well, the changes they're making now. I mean, you're talking about Eric Lofton. He was starting right tackle, missed all that time. Now he's going to start at left tackle because Vanderpool's out. And Stanley Bryant is out again. So I don't care what anybody says. It's got to be a high ankle sprain because those are the hardest ones to come back from. And especially when you're a big guy, there's a lot of weight on that ankle. You know what I mean?
Here's the Bombers injury list.
Look at it. Look at the guys they lost. I mean, obviously a snapper, Mike Benson, Stanley Bryant, the tackle, Zach, Peyton Logan, who they signed a big contract to, is still out. But one game, maybe he's back. Vanderpool, as you say, Cody is out for a while. Dalton Schoen, this guy's got bad luck. He's got a black cloud following him because, he just gets back. They're so excited. He gets a touchdown his first game, and then he's hurt again. So it comes back again. Why? This is the $1 million question, and I know the fans are out there all saying that. Why is Mitchell not playing? If I want to hear it doesn't fit, we'd have to move Carrick. Well, why can't Carrick move? You telling me Carrick can't play out of position?
Mike O'Shea has said, he said it over and over and over again through the years that we like our guys. We have confidence in them. There's no starters. There's no number ones. Guys can play everywhere. Versatility is so important. It's versatility. That was the word. With that thought, it's either they don't feel Dylan Mitchell is actually versatile, or there's something else going on here.
Okay, and there's and I'm just going to interject here because I think that's a great point, but there's something else. The chemistry in the locker room, we don't see.
Right.
We don't see what goes on behind those closed doors. And we've had guys that I played with who are great football players, but their attitude, I'm not saying this is what it is, but their attitude and how their hijinks and how they handle themselves off field as well as in the locker room, they just didn't fit the culture we were trying to build. And so no matter how talented they were, there's no I in team, right? And together everyone achieves more. So obviously there's some issues. Now, I'm not going to speculate and say that's what it is, but I'm just saying from my history playing in the locker room, we've had a number of players who couldn't play because they either thought they were better than they were, they had a terrible attitude because they're not playing. See, that's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
He might have his nose out of joint because he's not playing, but he's still collecting a paycheck.
Yeah. And so a lot of people are saying, he was on the 1-game injured list as a not injury related designation. He's collecting his paycheck through those first 6 weeks. I'm not entirely sure of this, but I do believe now that Winnipeg has played 6 games, he's secured his as a veteran in the CFL,
sure.
he's secured his bag for the year. He's secured his money.
They might have moved that up. It used to be September 1st.
Yeah.
It used to be September 1st when I played.
8 or 9. Yeah.
And then you get protected for the rest of the year, no matter
Well, you know what?
what.
Maybe it's 8 weeks, and now we're in week 9, right? Maybe it's regardless of buys. Yeah.
Now here's a question: he's still collecting his pay. That's your point. Is he collecting his paycheck on the practice roster? I mean, that's easy money, buddy. I'm gonna hit the bars, hit the club. Hey,
Well, he better not.
Well, I guarantee. Come on, boys. You know that. We always used to go to the bars all the time. We used to have a couple hangouts. I won't mention what they were, but they treated us great, and the players supported them. We went to Chi-Chi's, but we also went to Eastside Mario's, Pomodori's. There's a place on Portage. The fans and the establishments really took care of the players back then. Yep. But it's a different world right now, right? It's a very protected world. But you told me, you set me straight. I didn't realize there was beer in the locker room again. Mm-hmm. You said, no, Walby, there is now, which is a good sign because, guys are smart enough to say, okay, I'll have 1, 2, that's it. But
that's the difference. Yeah. And I'm sure it's strict. It's like only after the game on game day. Like there's no beer on a Tuesday. Sure. Yeah.
Well, we used to have one walkthrough. We'd have it, and it'd be a big tub too. We'd have a couple, but then we all went over to one of these establishments that I pre-mentioned.
Yeah, nobody's drinking beer anyway, before the game.
My big thing is this though. There's a couple changes that makes me curious.
Eric Lofton.
Kremdy had safety. Kremdy had safety. Or Kremdy, sorry. And Jamal Parker moving to that corner spot. Now, Jamal Parker did play corner before, so that's a good move. Radek Kremdy is a very good football player, and I think that might be a good move. And it gives an opportunity, and it gives you a chance to play your buddy, Michael Griffin.
Yeah.
So,
who plays a lot of snaps anyway when Winnipeg plays those 3-man fronts. They'll play Griffin and Kremdy kind of on each side of Wilson and Jones in that second level. Yeah. Parker back to where he was slated to be the starter last season before suffering a torn ACL, I believe it was, in training camp back in 2024. Bonds, Nichols, Holm remain the same. Jake Kelly, the second-year Canadian, comes on. Ethan Ball stays on for a second week, a 2025 draft pick. Those guys are all going to be, are both going to be special teamers mostly. But over on the offensive line, Chris, we talked about Joey Corcoran, the Canadian rookie, getting the start and another Canadian backing him up in Gavin Cobb. But the offensive line sees a change as Micah Vanterpool's on the 1-game injured list. Eric Lofton starting at left tackle. And you mentioned it a minute ago that Lofton moves from right tackle to left tackle. And I've had a lot of people on Twitter sending me DMs to being like, you got to talk about this on the pregame show. If I recall correctly, in training camp, Eric Lofton was working at left tackle with the second team. So this isn't a huge foreign switch for him.
No. It's not about the switch, DB. It's you're in now after sitting out for so long. Now the lights are on. And you're going against a pretty good D-line. I don't think Toronto's that bad. I mean, obviously Chesterfield or
they lead the CFL in sacks, right?
Parrish. Well, they do a good job. I mean, they get some good pressure. I love their linebackers, and they're starting a new guy, Jarrett Martin. But I love Whitten McManus and Cam Judge when he played in Calgary. He was a stud. So, I mean, those two guys. But obviously, they want to get Martin back in the lineup. And so Jarrett Martin's back in at that strong side linebacker. So it's going to be good. I mean, obviously, they only made 2 changes. And, the guy, and their defense is pretty good. Parrish, Lanier, we talked about him last week. The fact that he had, he used to be an end, now he's a tackle.
Chatfield's a freak.
Chatfield's good, man.
So
now this is why. Listen, I think that Lofton's a heck of a good football player, but I think when you go from right to left, even if you're in second team practice, and they're not talking about wearing pads, my God, you know what I mean? They might have the helmets on with those stupid flower pots, but other than that, that's what they do. Now he's going left tackle, and it's a blind side of your quarterback, right? And Chris Trebler, God bless him. One thing he has, one of his attributes is he can take off with the ball. And he doesn't do the quarterback slide. He'll run you over.
Mm-hmm.
He's a tough, I think he's just like a bruising. He's a Matt Dunnigan. That's who he is. Matt would never slide. Matt would, and it cost Matt his career with the concussions and stuff. But Matt would never slide. He'd always go that extra yard, try and grab that extra yard with his helmet. I think Streveler could be a double threat tomorrow. I really do. I think that he I've been impressed with his little short.
You're saying Jason Hogan opens up the tickle trunk and pulls out some Chris Streveler keeps and misdirection, RPO type things.
RPO, let me see some of those slot back sweeps. Let's see some of those things again. I think Dembski had one catch last week. I think it was one catch because he kept his streak
last week, it's a write-off. They turned the ball over. They couldn't move the ball.
Who are the guys you need to win? You got so many guys. If I had put a team together and I was betting on them, I say, who are the guys that I need to be the X factors? Nick is for sure. Brady has got to be one for sure. Willie's had a quiet start this year. He's got one sack. James Waters, I thought played.
Can I disagree with you?
Yeah, you can always disagree with me, man.
I don't think he has had a slow start. I think with what Winnipeg is trying to do defensively, he's played very well. I think he had a great knock. Well. He's had some great knockdowns.
Okay, I apologize to Willie and his family. He did not have a slow start. Willie, don't take me off.
Chris, we're both entitled to our opinion. There's nothing wrong with saying that he's had a slow start.
I just think worded it wrong. I probably worded it wrong. I said the stats aren't there for him. Not that he's not playing well. Yeah. I should have said it right, instead of a kind of, just the first thought that came to my mind. Where a lot of time it's just like, like a bubble,
We had a huge debate. We had a huge debate about Willie Jefferson and James Waters on the postgame show last week.
I thought James Waters played pretty good.
Well, he had the scoop and score, right?
Scoop and score, but that was caused by somebody that ripped the ball out, right? So, that's a big thing. He still had a couple, he's got a touchdown. He's got 3 tackles. He had a sack, his first sack of the season last week. I don't want to put too much stat in the sack. I want pressure. I'll take pressure all day over never mind that word. I'm going to church tomorrow, Sunday. I'll be there. Sorry, Lord. I think that I think we need pressure. It's hard to believe I'm not even drinking. Jeez.
You're full of beans today, as they say, Chris.
Yeah, you know what? I like I said, I was at the lake yesterday where I want to say this. I really had a good time doing the game from the lake last week. Beautiful day. I was enjoyable. No pressure, just having some fun in the sun. I think next week we'll probably do that again. We'll do it from the lake. But we got such great weather. Look at this weather. It's awesome. Guys, enjoy a long weekend.
Mm-hmm.
27, 28, 28, 27. We've been blessed with beautiful weather. Anyway, that's just that was my 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙚 impression.
Thanks, Sylvia.
Weather today brought to you by 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙚.
Yeah, John Sauter.
John Sauter does a great job.
Marquise Bridges is another change the Blue Bombers made, but this one has nothing to do with injury. This was a performance change. They even made this change during the game last week in Toronto, where Trey Vavel, the returner, stepped in and moved from returner to DB, and they took Bridges off. Now Bridges is out, straight up out of the lineup. That's why Parker moved from safety to corner.
Yeah, they didn't put him in injury, so it's not injury. They put him right on the practice roster, which is not a good sign either. Mm-hmm. He started off strong, 2 interceptions. He was a good cover guy. And then the last couple of weeks, or maybe the last 3-4 games, he's starting to bite on things. He's not trusting his eyes. He thinks something's happening. It's not that, and those guys go by him. But I will say this. After watching, and I watched that game probably 2-3 times, I like to slow it down. And I thought the defense, the tackling was horrific. The receivers broke tackle after tackle after tackle. The yak yards were sick. And that's yards after catch for you people. And then I saw, O'Shea saying, well, we were trying to rip the ball rather than. No. Tackle. Secure the tackle first, then go after the ball. I watched guys get hit, and they just kept going for a first down.
Fundamentals.
And I'll say this. They're fundamental football, but I also
second and long.
I thought Nick Arbuckle, who nobody likes Nick Arbuckle. He was only MVP in the Grey Cup when he beat the Bombers.
Nobody likes him.
He played. I thought he threw a pretty good football last week too in Toronto, which I like to see because Toronto, not one of the mega markets. You know what I mean? So they need to get some winning football. I think I like Ryan Dinwiddie. I think it's good. But if I'm Jordan Younger, the defensive coordinator, I might have bags out there say, but of course they didn't because the smoke got canceled one day. They had a walkthrough second day and closed practice yesterday. I know they're doing the old body health thing, mental reps versus physical reps. But you got to tackle better, boys. I was yelling at the TV. You got to, come on. I watched DeMonte Cox.
You were throwing F-bombs in the privacy of your own home.
Oh, no, I didn't swear. I don't like swearing anymore.
You didn't swear at the TV? Are you kidding? You didn't swear at the TV last week watching the Bombers.
Yeah, we had a bunch of people in the garage. Yeah, I maybe had a couple. I brought out a bottle of tequila.
Yeah, I had a couple F-bombs. Like, that was,
Yeah,
what
I
was
know,
that?
I know.
What was that? That was not Winnipeg Blue Bombers football. The coverage
it's
was
the worst.
soft.
It's the
The
worst.
tackling
You know
was
what?
poor. The turnovers
just
were
not-
coming hot and heavy. This team is,
yeah, but-
let's just
well,
cut
some
to it. This
fluke.
team is
Okay,
playing
no.
like shit right now.
You know it's interesting when the
You gonna
ball
let me
hits
get a
the
word in?
receiver, bounces off a back, hits a helmet, and they get an interception. I mean, that was funny. No, you get a word in. You run the show. You're the boss. I'm a servant. You're the savior. Hello.
Chris, this is not Blue Bomber football. Fans are irate. Fans are thinking the good days are over. I said it over and over this offseason. I believe this roster, as it stands in 2025, is better than it was last year. I don't care about who they lost. I don't care about who they brought in. This team today has the talent to win, but defensively, huge question marks. Obviously, like we could get into the Zach Collaros conversation. We can get into the protection on offense conversation and the turnovers. Like, you know, whether it's on Collaros, whether it's on Streveler, a bad decision, a bad throw, a tipped ball, a mistake, a missed assignment, a receiver running the wrong route, whatever.
Yeah. Well, and also
They have
if
to
you talk about
stop.
fumble, you talk about Brady, busting. He's a guy that he'll bust every tackle as much as he can. And next thing you know, he coughs the ball up. It's just at inopportune times that we give him. Yes, that's a great point, Les. I'm going to tell you right now, they're 58-9. Think about that. 58 wins, 9 losses when the Bombers lead after the first quarter. That's from 2017. So, I mean, they need to get a better start. They can't. And they were actually leading after the first quarter, which was the 9th because they were up 10-9.
Yeah, with a
after that
defensive touchdown.
With a defensive touchdown. No, their offense needs to be better.
The defense needs to
I
be
don't
better.
know.
The special teams need to be better. Why are they playing like this? What is the disconnect in your mind?
I don't know. I'm old school. If we lost a game, great. If we lost 2, well, not so good. If we lost 3, we're beating the shit out of each other in practice. Get better. Get better.
Yeah.
Cal Murphy's line, practice is going to be the bitch. The game is going to be a holiday. That was his philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
We beat the crap out of each other. Now, whether that's the smartest way to do it, I don't know. We went to 5 Grey Cups. We won 3. I don't know. This team has been 5 Grey Cups straight, and they lost the last 3. What?
Well, they've won 2.
Yeah, well, I just said they lost 3. You said lost 2. Oh, we're working together. Synergy,
right.
synergy. That's good, man. But anyway, yeah. I just think that this team, I hope these changes work out. I think they will. I actually like Cramdy. I like Cramdy. I like the way he plays. He could be a good hitter back there. He's a guy that's very physical.
I like that move
And
too.
Jamal is a good corner. We know that he can play good. At
I like
corner.
that move too.
So that's a good one. I think that, Marquise Bridges was like, he might, and I hate to say it because if he's listening, Marquise, he just had a rough go, buddy. And I'm sure you'll get better as the year goes on with whoever you're with. But
He's got to earn his
like
spot back now.
He was like an Achilles heel.
Yeah.
They were going after him. And, you saw that one pass that I couldn't believe. When Janarian Grant, a southpaw, throws a ball downfield and 2 guys are covering him and the ball somehow goes through Evan Holmes' arms as they all stretched. And the guy, great concentration, catches the ball. You say to yourself, come on, that can't be. Oh, man. I'm blown away. I'm looking forward to this game so much. I gave a friend of mine's grandkids the tickets to the game. They play local football. They're little kids. They're so jacked to go to watch this game. So Bombers, put on a show, baby. Let these young kids, they love you guys. Put on a show for them tomorrow.
Yeah, they need to show up. That's for sure. I just wanted to pull up the practice roster here. Here's Marquise Bridges on the PR. They've got other Americans there waiting in the wings. Defensive back Cam Allen, who was very, very impressive in training camp, is there. Dexter Lawson Jr., a defensive back, is there as well. They've got options. There's our pal Dylan Mitchell waiting in the wings.
There's one guy that you go up one. That's the guy that I'm interested in. This guy set all kind of records where he played.
Oh,
Max McLeod.
Yeah.
They like this kid.
He had what, 53 touchdowns, 52 touchdowns in 53 games in college.
He's supposed to be really good now. Why can't he just learned the offense, obviously that's what it is. But when you're down and you start losing after losing, you got to take chances on a guy.
A rookie, look, I understand Joey Corcoran is getting the start, but he has played snaps through Winnipeg's first 6 games of the season. But that's a rookie, putting a rookie in at receiver, whether it's Max McLeod or whoever, or a DB, is not going to help things right now. You talked about what Cal Murphy would say. What's the line of Cal Murphy that you say more than any? It is, you lose a game for every rookie you start. Right. And the Blue Bombers are deciding to start a rookie at receiver instead of a guy with 4 or 5 years of CFL experience in Dylan Mitchell. But to move on from that, Josh Fry-Sam, I pointed out this comment from Jake Slobodian. What's going on, Jake? I liked what Josh Fry-Sam said. The 17 turnovers in the last 3 games is not something Mitchell would fix or another DB in the lineup would fix or a change would fix. That's a team thing.
Yeah.
This week, Chris, air quality kept the Blue Bombers off the field on Tuesday. It was a closed practice on Wednesday. Today's Thursday. It's walkthrough day. They're going to play Friday. This was a short practice week for the Bombers.
They're lucky we're playing the same opponent. That is one thing. You can watch film. What do we do wrong? How do we make corrections? It's not like you go into the Calgary as they are next week. You got to figure this out. So, they have opportunity, right? Mm-hmm. What's this? Watch NFL season live.
Oh, yeah. I'll ban them.
I said get.
They're gone. Banned.
Crazy. Anyway, I think that
preparation to get rid of these turnovers, to get rid of the penalties haven't, on the surface, they don't look that bad, but they're taking more penalties this year than they have in the past, especially in the first half. I understand new guys, that'll contribute to that, but it's slow starts, penalties, mistakes, and turnovers. So can Meeting not being on the field for 2, 3 full practice days this week, can meetings and the mental reps help this team get on track?
It better. Obviously, you can't control the weather, and the smoke is bad. But when you think about it, the last 3 games, we are now we're the worst in the league with 22 turnovers. Last year we used to be a plus, always a plus minus, as far as takeaways and giveaways. We're a -10 over the last 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. You're not going to win many football games like that. So I think that, I think that we just got to play smart football. And you know what? And we're talking about Marquise Bridge. I'll throw one other thing in there. Sometimes you need to do the shock treatment, the defibrillator. Boosh to the defense. Here's a guy that, hangs with all the guys. DBs are a close-knit unit. All of a sudden, the guy that started for the first number of games is gone. It's a shock. It's a wake-up call. And sometimes you need that to right the ship, right? It's like, what was that show with the crazy captain? They had he was a mutant on a bounty, right? Had to get rid of that captain.
I'm not sure.
You didn't never see that show, did you?
I'm the captain now. That's the only one I know.
You're the captain, and you better watch yourself because there might be a mutiny.
Oh, my.
We'll throw you overboard and feed you, Jake. Hey, Jake, start winning the turnover game. Absolutely, Jake.
Scurvy.
See, some things are pretty simple to say, but
the Bombers,
they've got to figure it out. They got to figure it out, man. It's. I don't even want to talk about what happens if they don't succeed tomorrow.
I think they need to put they're at the point in the season right now where a loss will it could be detrimental, right? Because they have to go to Calgary next week.
Yeah,
right?
Calgary. Vernon Paul's not, or Vernon
Adams Jr.
Perhaps he's not playing this week. They're resting him. He's been playing well. Unfortunately, he's getting injured again. But yeah, they got Calgary next week. We're here right now. That's Toronto, and then next week is Calgary.
Right, and then
remember you mentioned it
as
before?
the slog continues. You got a home game against Ottawa. That's not too bad. And then you got to take on one of the top teams in the league, top team in the East right now in the Montreal Alouettes before Labor Day and the Banjo Bowl. So what I'm saying though, Chris, is, must win games in the first half of the season with how Winnipeg has lost these 3 straight games, with how it has happened. And it being a second game of a back-to-back and a home and home against the same opponent, and it being at home. They need to go out, pull out all the tricks out of the bag, utilize Chris Streveler, utilize Brady Oliveira, be uber physical on the offensive line.
Yeah.
Don't commit penalties. Don't turn the ball over. And the defense, maybe a little mix-up right now is what the doctor ordered. They need to play better. And whether that's Jonathan Jones coming in to change things up, I don't think the linebacking is the issue, but some different looks on the defense. Get in Nick Arbuckle's face. This is a must-win game for them, in my opinion.
No, but it's not even that. And I'm going back, and I know I'm being very repetitive in my comments here, but
come back to your microphone, my friend.
I started revisualizing the game again, which I can do because I'm pretty smart. The tackling, the short pass that turns into 9 yards and you keep the drive going. That was a point of, they just continued the whole game. He'd throw outs. It's like, I'll tell you what. Did you watch the BC Hamilton game?
That game I didn't. No.
I watched it. Hamilton came back. I think Benavides is the coordinator for Lions. I think
DC, so. Yep, he is.
They played off. They were so worried about getting the bomb that they gave 20 yards to all wideouts.
Chunk.
Was just throwing sideline. They go and win the game.
And they went after, they tried to shut down Kenny Lawler to such a degree that everybody else ate. Everybody ate.
Well, that one kid got 14 catches. He was a stud. But I mean, Hamilton's the deal, buddy. They're not that bad. I don't think their defense is good, but I think Bolívar is playing lights out right now.
This is what it comes down to right now, Chris.
Yes.
With the Blue Bombers. I apologize.
Okay, who's the leader? Who's the leader?
I always want to try to keep you back on track. Who are the Blue Bombers leaders right now? Les on YouTube says, Bombers have enough leaders in the room to get things turned around. Need this win. It is going to come down to leadership. And that means it's Pat Neufeld on the offensive line. That's Nick Dembski in the receiving core. That's Chris Streveler and Zach Collaros, who will be on the sideline, right? It's Willie J. It's Kyrie Wilson. It's a ton of those guys on the defense as well. Tony Jones, I've found to be you can kind of see that he's a bit of an emotional leader in that defense. He's probably no Adam Bighill, but I know he commands a lot of respect in his own right. So Monica's right. Leaders need to speak up.
Well, I think they do. And, I know that sometimes you won't hear about it. I won't hear about it. But being as a former player, we'd have closed sessions and we'd lock it. The coaches wouldn't be in. Nobody's in it. It's just the players only. And we voice issues. What do we think is going on? Yep. What do we need to do to pull our straps up? What do we need to do to win? And it helps. Guys voice sometimes. Sometimes it's not a good thing. I've had fights in there where guys go, you know what? Rod Hill would be yelling at Bob Molly about our offense. Bob Molly would be yelling at Rod Hill, shut up and cover your man. And then they'd get into it. And Rod Hill, God bless him, don't wrestle Bob Molly because Bob Molly pins you in about 14 seconds. So, but I mean, this is how it happens, man. It's crazy, man. And you know what the worst part? They're both naked. Oh, that's a visual there you want to see, but it was fun.
I don't know about
anyway,
that. I don't know about that.
That's a true story. That's a true story.
Yeah.
I don't lie. I tell stories.
Chris, I want to go back and get some more comments from head coach Mike O'Shea, who spoke to reporters today ahead of this rematch with the Argos.
Mike, how we haven't been able to talk to Dylan Mitchell, or at least not today. How has he handled the fact that, this is a team who's excited to join? You guys paid him a good chunk of money, and we're, going to be 7 games in. He hasn't played a snap.
Yeah, I'm sure he's not happy about not playing, but what you get out of him is, he's terrific as a pro. All our guys really are, You don't want players that are just happy to not play, right? You want them to be hungry and work for it and all that stuff and be good pros along the way. And we got a locker room full of those guys that unfortunately don't get to play. But, in the off season, we draft, we sign free agents, we do all these things to put together a collective, a big group of guys. And from there, we pare it down to 45 on a game day roster. That doesn't mean these guys aren't good players. It just means that this is where we see the roster right now.
Because Dylan, he has played the slot back before, I think 14 games or whatever in his career. Just what do you want to see more from him for him to be able to play that spot? Because obviously it's a unique situation, right? You don't often see a guy get paid the money that he's getting paid, and then, a spot opens up, and then a guy who's played one game in his career, Cody Case, goes in, and then he goes down, and then this rookie Canadian goes in. So it's a unique situation that fans aren't used to seeing, basically.
I guess we just look at it differently, right? Like, once again, what you pay a player to get them here doesn't guarantee them anything, right? Like, I think that's a misnomer that you hear often in the media. Well, he was paid this much, so he must be the starter. I don't know why. I've never even thought of it that way. We pay guys, a collective, we sign guys, we draft guys, we get guys here, trade, whatever. And then from there, we look at what's best on a game day. And he has played out of the slot, for sure. But we think he's particularly good at the X, but we think Carrick is too.
Reda has never played safety, at least not in the CFL, but we all know how hard that guy studies and how well he prepares and everything. What can we expect from Reda at the safety?
Yeah, Reda can play 8 different positions probably. If you told him to go play nose guard, he'd probably figure out a way to get it done.
Michael Griffin, what does he bring to that dime back spot?
Yep, the same thing. I mean, he goes in on defense a ton, right? So what you name the spot and what he goes in and does, I think sometimes, or a lot of times, might be the way you look at it might be different than the way we look at it. We get a good football player on the field.
Right. And what is, just last one for me, what is Stowe?
Okay, I'm stopping that. I'm stopping that there, because what Mike O'Shea just said is, regardless of position, when it comes to Reda Cramdy and safety, where he's never played before, regardless of position, we got a good football player there. So we know he's going to get the job done, right? I'm paraphrasing, of course. When it comes to Dylan Mitchell, they have decided that a 5th round Canadian draft pick, Joey Corcoran, who's a good football player, is better than a 5-year guy who is capable of 800 yards, winning 50-50 battles, fast, good route runner. He's shown it in his time with the Edmonton Elks. Something is amiss. I know we're revisiting this, but very interesting comments.
That was a great question, though. I loved it. He's played slot before. Yeah. I know but we think he's better at the wide.
Yeah, and we think our 5th round Canadian receiver.
So that they're hiding something. I agree. And listen, we're not detectives. We're guys that tell the truth. We basically tell it as it is on this wonderful show called Bonfire Sports. And God bless us. We know if there's a fish washing up on shore and it stinks, we're going to tell you it stinks.
Yeah.
We're not going to go, it could be something else. So, there's definitely something going on with Mitchell that's preventing him from getting an opportunity. And I think once he go for the practice, it's not a good thing. I mean, he's probably getting his pay still, but where's the incentive? Where is the incentive? As a player, a professional pride, as a player, if they sat me down and said, Chris, we're just going to let you sit, we're going to pay you, I'm going nuts. I don't want to be there. I don't want to be there because I don't feel like I'm part of the team.
He's on the practice roster now. If somebody needs a veteran receiver,
even when you're injured. Do you know what it's like to be injured?
But what you just said is you wouldn't want to be there. And right now, there's the opportunity for a team to take on Dylan Mitchell's contract. I
I
Pluck
think
him
they're
off
going
the
to trade
PR.
him. Here. I think they're going to trade him.
Well, there's no, Chris, when's the last time you heard of a trade in the CFL?
Well, maybe not trade.
That doesn't
They'll cut
involve
him and
draft
get picked
picks.
up. Trade or get picked up. Somebody will pick him up.
Yeah.
If he gets cut. I think it's ridiculous to hang on to a guy with that kind of a little bit of a pedigree.
Well, and
I've seen from his resume, he's had some big damn games.
And that's it. Pedigree and resume. When a reporter says he's making a lot of money and Mike O'Shea says, well, I don't really think of it that way. Like, no doubt, if I was the head coach, if anybody was the head coach, you don't think about how much money a guy's making. You look at what they can do on the field. But the reason the money is brought up is that's the qualifier, right? That shows the level of expectation of an athlete. It shows the resume, the pedigree, the experience, the highlight reel. Dylan Mitchell has all of that.
All right. But I'll say this.
It is strange.
Let me just say this, buddy. Enough with the Dylan Mitchell story.
Let's talk about the quarterback. Can we talk about?
Let's talk about the quarterback. Let's talk about something other than Dylan, because I mean,
I'll cut right to the bone with this question, okay? And a lot of people won't like the way I phrase this question, but do you think we will see Zach Collaros again? Like, will we see him in a month? Will we see him next week? Will we see him again this year? Because the way just let me say that the way things shook out with him smacking his head against the turf, going into concussion protocol, not returning to that game, not practicing, returning to practice that week, practicing all throughout the week, and then playing in the game, seemingly not getting re-injured in the game, and then going into the locker room and something's amiss and him not returning to the game, not practicing this week. And then Mike O'Shea, the 2 days before the game, this never happens. Mike O'Shea said, as a matter of fact, I don't expect Zach to play this week. What? When has he ever ruled a guy out early? It's, we will see. We'll see the roster. When they asked, is Chris Trevler starting? We'll see. But he had no problem saying Zach Collaros. Like, I'm reading between the lines here as somebody who has listened to every word out of Mike O'Shea's mouth in the media, been there on a near daily basis for the 10 years Mike O'Shea has been here. Okay. Something tells me they are going to be very, very incredibly cautious with the return of Zach Collaros.
Well, he will play again. I'll tell you this. I put my money on him playing again. But like he said, he's not playing this week. You go to Calgary next Saturday, and Calgary's got, you know what they are. They got a great defense too, right? So I don't know, man. I mean, but I know he'll play again. There's no doubt he will. But I think maybe somebody made a comment. Maybe he shouldn't have even played the last game. Maybe he should have rested.
Well, he said before that game, he felt the same as he did the week before.
Yeah.
But that doesn't always tell the picture, right? If this is a concussion,
the trainers
that makes sense.
That yes or no. Look at Stanley Bryant's not playing. We talked about him earlier in the show. I mean, obviously an ankle, which I think is a high ankle sprain or ligament damage. I know what it's like to be a tackle when you got that much weight and you're shuffling all the time. And you get your ankle. Now Vanderpool's got the ankle problem. Mm-hmm. So you know what I mean. It's a tough business. But look, these are guys.
They had two of the best in the league.
They'll come back. I'm not worried about them. But listen. I am not going to burn the statue of Zach Collaros yet. I think Zach is still going to be okay. I just think I think you said it, and I think 100% right. You said they're going to be extremely cautious this time. I really think so. It's like we're talking about Toronto, Chad Kelly. They put him on a 6th game. He's got questions. He's not feeling good. And I thought Milt Stegall on one of the best ever play for the Bombers. I love the guy. He said it on the show. He doesn't think Chad will play again this year.
Right.
And I kind of agree. But that's a different story than Zach. Zach has got to get healthy. Not only healthy, his mind.
Well,
his mind. Because when he's confident, and I dare say it, a cocky quarterback should be cocky. You should think, I can't get beat. When you start having hesitation and things are not going your way, you just walk them. When he threw that interception to Cam Judge, he just walked off the field, head down, like a dog that just got kicked in the bag.
I believe Zach Collaros did not even see Cam Judge on that play. Didn't
I
see
don't know
him.
how he didn't. I don't know
Well,
how he didn't.
I do. Like the entire line is in front of him, and he sees the receiver doing a quick in route and didn't see Judge.
Out
there.
route.
No, it was an in route.
Out route.
Oh no, it was an out route. Yeah, inside receiver out route. Right. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome,
Mr.
buddy.
Bauming.
That's why we're here for each other.
Look at this. See, Rob Mahoney. Collaros
Oh
is
yeah,
done.
you had to mention that
did-
comment, eh?
Oh, they always say stuff like that. I don't know. I mean,
Look, I hate
don't
the
think
word
so.
"he's done." I hate
so do
that.
I. So
How
do
would
I.
you
I
ever
really
put
do.
that on? Would you look someone in the face and say, when it comes to you and your job, you're done? Give me a break.
No, that's us getting fired. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
or if
But,
they're like, get leg amputated.
I think that Zach, like I said, I think Zach's still okay. I think right now, two things: healthy and confidence. He'll never admit that he's not confident, but I can see it. He's frustrated like crazy. Things are going away from him. Interceptions. Okay, put it this way: not only throwing interception, but having 3 of them to return for touchdowns. That is an asterisk. And you know what? Asterisk, ass kick, whatever one you want to put there.
I'll make this statement, and you can take it as a question, Chris.
All right.
There is no doubt in my mind, no doubt, that Zach Collaros, a healthy, ready to play Zach Collaros, gives the Blue Bombers the best chance to win.
Absolutely. But I'm going to say this. We don't have him right now, and maybe not for the foreseeable short shoot future. Let's see what Strev can do. I really want to see what Strev can do.
Remember that?
What's that? It was done.
Collaros was quote unquote done back in 2019.
Well, he just went to 5 Grey Cups, man. Come on, man. Can't be that bad.
What's up to everybody? What's up to everybody who joined us from WST and the raid? T. Will says, say what you will about Walby's attire, but his beard game is on point. That mustache is elite, says T. Will.
Yeah. Well, appreciate it, man. T. Will.
You are wearing a lot of red. I don't know if that's a Nikolai Ehlers Carolina Hurricanes thing. Is that a Stampeders thing? Talking a lot about VA.
No, I basically just put the red on because I just put a shirt on.
Tiger on a Sunday?
I had a pink hat on, and my wife said, "You're not wearing pink." I said, "Why not? Pink's good." Actually, one of my favorite colors is pink. You know that? I like pink, and plus, it's I know we're not going to get into the breast cancer thing, but I'm a big fan of that as well. So,
yeah.
Anyway, I just want to say this: the Bombers need to turn the corner tomorrow. This is I don't want to hear them say it's not a must win. We still have a lot of games. This is a must win.
Yeah.
They need to correct this ship. It's heading into rocks. It's hitting the rocks. And if we don't win
go
tomorrow,
to Calgary next week.
God knows what kind of score it is, but if we win, it's great. It alleviates a lot of pain. But we lose, there's going to be more question marks. Who are we doing? But I think the Bombers have a great chance. I like Strev. I mean, I'm one of the guys that's on Strevler's board. I'm on board with Strev because I think he's a dual-edged sword. And if, as you said, if Hogan, the offensive coordinator, puts a package in that it takes advantage of his capabilities, I'm okay with it. They're going to have Wick McManus. He'll be watching Streveler all the time because of the fact that he can run.
I think a critical piece in the key to success with Chris Streveler to help the Bombers play their best football and win games is just having him prepare that week like he's starting. I have always seen him play better, play sharper, play less mistake-prone football when he's the guy. When he comes off the bench, I see mistakes. I don't think it's like Chris Streveler doesn't prepare as if he needs to play in games where he's backing up Collaros. What I'm saying is I think it just leads to cleaner, more sound, just kind of calmer football from Streveler.
So let me just throw this in there too. So Streveler comes in the halftime last 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Last time, like you were touched on, didn't throw any interceptions. He's got 8 interceptions on his sheet too. But this week was a wash, right? No practice because of the smoke. A walkthrough, which we can't see. Where do you get the reps that he needs? That's my question. He needs reps. You need to have those reps to, get that continuity.
I bet
you got a new receiver now.
I bet he's out there on those off days throwing the ball.
Oh, I guarantee it. Listen, he's got a good arm. That touchdown throw he did a couple weeks ago to Jared Stearns, that's beautiful.
Mhm.
A nice touch on the football.
Yep.
I think the dual threat of not only Strevler, but Brady Oliveira, we haven't even talked about him, which is surprising. He doesn't have a touchdown this year. I was like, what?
I don't even care about the touchdowns.
Yes,
I care
do.
about. No, I don't.
I bet in a game. I bet.
I
bet my
care
kid-
about them utilizing him to the best of of his ability. Chris, you know this as maybe the greatest offensive lineman to ever play this game. You're definitely the
That's
best
right.
Canadian O lineman to ever play this game. When your O line is struggling, doesn't running the football help because you become the hammer, not the nail? You're exerting your
great
authority.
point. Great point. You want to be the aggressor, not the guy that's just sitting back on your heels, pass throwing all the time. Unfortunately, when you get behind the ball or the 8 ball, as it is in the score, a lot of times you got to revert to throw it. I listened to Hogan say that. The offensive corner said, so, we can't. Sometimes we have to abandon the run, but I don't believe you have to. I believe you can run screens. I believe you can run draws.
Yeah, that was just an answer. That was just an answer he gave. Like, well, sometimes you're trailing, so you got to throw the foot like.
No, that's how it is a lot of times. I've been in the trenches where they got to throw. I remember we played against Ottawa Rough Riders, and I was going against Greg Marshall, who's a D-line coach for the Argos. And we're up by, 30 points. And Johnny Hufnagel comes in, and he wants to throw the ball every damn down. And guess what? Marshall runs around me and sacks John Hufnagel. He looks at me, I said, yep, should have ran the ball. Then I hung him up on a bar. Took him up by his shirt and just hung him up on a hook. Man, I had a good time.
You mentioned Greg Marshall. I thought he was back in the CFL, but no, he's the head coach of the Western University Mustangs.
Oh, really? Because I thought he was D-line coach.
Yeah, I thought he was too. I might have to look through that. But interesting that he is such a strong defensive mind. He was a running back when he played.
Greg Marshall's defensive line coach for the Argos. There you go. So put that in your pipe and
that's what I thought. Yeah.
Well, I told you that, and you went, "No, I got to check."
No.
You're not right.
No, I wasn't correcting you. I swear to God.
I'm going to correct.
But it's interesting how he was a running back and now he's a defensive specialist, right? He knows. It's interesting how
Who's a running back?
Greg Marshall, when he played, was a running back.
What are you nuts? Are you talking the same? Oh, you're talking about the Greg Marshall as a head coach?
Yeah.
Well,
this is a different Greg Marshall?
Must be Greg. Well, why would he coach D-line?
Well, I mean, receivers become DB coaches.
Oh, my God.
Well, they do. Chris, that's a thing. That's absolutely a thing.
Do you have a defibrillator there?
Huh?
Do you have a defibrillator? Because zap yourself back into reality.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's right. A guy that played on offense has never coached on defense.
I played defense.
I know you did.
I played short yardage defense. I hated it. They cut the crap out of me all the time.
Yeah, well, you're a big boy. That's the only way you can see. I can't cut block you through the screen, so it's tough when I'm pissed off at you. Oh,
that's okay. I you know what? It doesn't matter to me. It's all good, my friend. When life is good.
Do you want to sing your 3 keys to the game?
Yeah. No, I won't. Not today.
All right.
But I got the 3 keys. You want to go? Let's do it, baby.
Yeah.
Offense. You hit on this, and I'm just repeating. This is DB's point, and I love it. Must get out of the gate early. Stay on the field. Run the frickin' ball. Can Strevler be the savior? And again, protect the football. 17 turnovers last 3 games. They ain't going to win many football games. Defense, get off the field. Better tackling. It was just horrendous. And last 2 games, the other team's offense, 61% in second down conversion. You're not going to get off the field if you don't get these guys in second down and long and stop them. And that comes with the shitty tackling you guys did last week. And on special teams, I got to tell you, man, you're doing a good job, but don't let Janarian Grant get going because you know what he can do. We've had him in Winnipeg, special team player of the year last year. Jar the ball from Janarian. Knock him out, boys. Knock him out. That's my keys to the game.
I love it. I love it. Different Greg Marshall. The one that is the D-line coach for the Argos is not that Greg Marshall that like coached under Ron Lancaster and was a DC in the CFL for a number of years and teams. This Greg Marshall was a defensive lineman in the NFL and then played for the Rough Riders in 1980. Ottawa Rough Riders.
That must be a very popular name.
I guess so. Gregory Marshall. Yeah. He was the Red Blacks D-line coach in 24 and then head coach of the University of Toronto from 2018 to 2023.
He's a good man. I like Greg Marshall. I know is a great guy.
Well, 2006 to 2008, this Greg Marshall was the defensive coordinator and linebackers coach for the Blue Bombers.
Who's that?
This Greg Marshall.
Yeah, he was here.
Yeah.
I used to talk to him.
But that's a different Greg Marshall than the former head coach.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. I didn't know
I like
that.
Greg.
I didn't know that.
And I'm going to say this to you. I'm just going to let this. Waiters, you're right. You're key, and I didn't talk about it, but that's a good thing. Pressure Arbuckle into making mistakes.
Yeah.
Don't let him get in a rhythm. That's a very good point, Waiters. And I'm going to tell you right now, DB is going to buy you a cold one when he sees you, Waiters. So just don't show up at his house wearing a balaclava like you're going to rob a goddamn gas station.
Or I'll get good golly Bob Molly after you.
Good golly Bob Molly.
Well, it's going to be up to Streveler. Some new looks in the receiving core and on offense, on the line, in the running back field with Quentin Cooley coming in to back up Brady Oliveira. It's going to come down to a shuffled defensive secondary and maybe a changed perspective on the whole for the Blue Bombers defense. And I imagine special teams, while coverage has been okay, the return game and Trey Vavel securing the football as a young player and first-year pro in this league, going to be incredibly paramount as the Bombers finish up their home-and-home back-to-back with the Toronto Argonauts on Friday night. The one and only Zach Schnitzer will join me for Game Day After Dark. That's our live post-game show every single week right here on the channel, Bonfire Sports. If you haven't yet, get to your social media channels and follow us at Bonfire WPG, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of those good things. And I'll encourage you all right now to like this video. Hit that thumbs up right now. Share it with a friend. Click that share button and just like DM it to somebody or text it to somebody or email it to somebody. They'll appreciate it. We'll appreciate it even more. Chris, before I send you off, your thoughts or like your plans for this weekend. You're such a busy guy. We had to get things started early today.
Church. I think I'll go to church and pray for you, my friend.
Yeah, and your mouth.
Yeah, you're right. That was a bad slip up, man. I tell you.
That's not.
But I got to tell you, no, I'm heading to the lake to watch the game.
Nice.
I'll watch it tomorrow. Like I said, I gave my tickets to my friends' grandkids. They're going to be jacked. I love these kids were so jacked.
Yeah.
They were jumping around. They couldn't believe it. It's like they had Christmas in July, or it'll be August 1st tomorrow. And there's nothing like watching young kids that are 10, 11, just jacked about getting to go to a professional football game to watch their heroes, the Bombers. So I'm looking forward to it. I'll watch the game tomorrow from my shack, and I'm hoping for the best. I'm not going to even make a prediction this time because I'm almost scared to. But wake up, and play ball. Go Blue. That's what I'm saying. I agree with you, Glenn Bauming. Go Blue.
Uncle Walby, as I'll call you too. But there's my Uncle Glenn there. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the game and hopefully a better performance overall. We'll break it all down with video highlights of the game on Game Day After Dark here on Bonfire Sports. Take it easy, Chris. We'll see you soon.
You betcha, brother. Adios, my friends. I have to go.